Welcome to Art Class with Mrs. Christie, and today we are going to draw a turkey. So you'll need paper, pencil, and whatever color media that you're going to use. Today I'm going to be using watercolor to color my turkey. So grab your art supplies and let's go. Okay, so for your turkey, this is what my finished product looks. I colored this with marker. I actually went, because I'm one of those, I'm like some of you, I like my circles to be perfect. So I used circles to make our turkey. So I went and found 2 circles that I needed. You can freehand circles if you would like. For this, I'm going to draw my circles. I'm going to trace my circles. So I found a circle that works for me for the head, and I traced the head first. And as I said, you can use your own circle. You could freehand draw it. Next, you need to find a bigger circle, and you'll trace that, but you don't want to trace through that because that's part of his face. So you'll start where that circle starts, trace around, and you'll end at the other head. And if you don't draw a line through there, then you don't have to erase it. Saves you some time. And I did that with a pencil, but I'm going to finish the drawing with a Sharpie so you can see. So you can see I traced a circle for his head, and then I traced the rest of his body with the Sharpie marker. Okay. So he has wings. They come out from his sides. You draw a diagonal line going down, and if you draw a zigzag for the ends of his wings, and then just connect that to his body. Do that on both sides. Draw a diagonal line, zigzag, zigzag, zigzag. If I'm going too fast for you in the video, you can always pause the video and finish doing what you need to do, and then unpause when you're ready to come back to us. He has 2 feet. Draw 2 sticks coming down. They're actually 2 parallel lines. And then he has these toes. His toes are kind of like triangles coming out from his feet. There we go. There's his toes. I'm gonna start with this face. I mean, of course, this guy is cartoonish. So if you want to do different eyes, I always like surprise eyes on a turkey because he is surprised. He is gonna get eaten. You can draw 2 circles for the turkey. Draw the center of the eye. He's pretty shocked. He's going to get eaten. And then draw a triangle for the beak. And then they have the little wobbler. And it's just like a little kind of blob. Just a little blob on the side. Next, we have the feathers. Feathers are coming out from the side. I want to end my feathers about the same spot on each side. So you might draw a line where his shoulders are. And they're kind of like fingers. So if you really wanted to sit and trace your finger, you can. But it'd be like a finger. And they get taller as it goes up. Like if you want, you make the one on top of his head and make sure it's tall. That way you kind of see the path of the circle. That's kind of what I did on this. I drew one on the side, drew on the head, top of the head, and then I just worked my way around like so. And you do the same thing on the other side. As I said, you can think of it as like fingers for the feathers. I'll put one in between, just for fun. Okay, so we have our turkey, and he's drawn. I used marker coloring him here, but I'm going to demo using watercolor. So watercolor is pretty easy. You can get this most anywhere. You can get it at Walmart, Hobby Lobby. I think sometimes even the Dollar Tree or Five Below has watercolor. I've gotten some pretty nice sets from Five Below that have a lot more color choices than this. This is a basic Crayola brand watercolor set. So when you use watercolor, I'm going to move him so you can see. When you use watercolor, of course, you need water, you need a paintbrush, and then you need your set. You'll dip your paintbrush in water, and you'll dip it in the paint. So I'm going to use brown, so I'm going to dip it in the brown paint. The first time you use them, when you begin painting with it, they're going to need a little water to them, okay? So they're dry. So you need to load up your brush with water, tap it, brush it on there, and then you're going to load up paint on your brush. Then you can come in and start painting. Now remember, I used Sharpie marker when I was drawing this. So Sharpie marker and water don't blend, they won't blend, but like if you used a water-based marker to outline, it's going to bleed, just like the paint, because it's the same as the paint. So if you're wanting black lines, use a Sharpie marker, or use that water-based marker after your painting has dried. Like if you did pencil, paint it with the pencil, and then let it dry and come over it with a black marker. That's up to you, depending on what supplies you have. I am a huge fan of permanent markers and Sharpie markers, so that's why I usually draw with them, because I can go straight to painting over them if I'm doing something like this. So you basically, you're dipping, you're watching me paint. I'm gonna move that cup out of the way for a minute. And you're painting, he's brown. I'm gonna paint closely. If you will use the edge of your brush right here, this part, sorry, my nails are terrible. The edge right there, you can go around lines real smooth. If you'll notice when I'm painting, I'm going really close to the line and I'm just using that edge of the paint. I'm not using the tip. Sometimes when you guys use the tip, you get this feathered look, and it doesn't really stay in the lines. So if you'll use the edge of the paintbrush, it will help you out greatly. Now, tip brushes is like good for going around the little edges, like when I'm doing around the eye. But like when you're doing a circle or something like that, if you just go around the edge with the side of the brush, it'll help you. Okay, so now I'm done with my brown. I've painted what I want brown, and I want to paint his beak and his feet. So I don't want brown on my paintbrush. I'm going to make sure I dip my paintbrush in the water. And I don't need a napkin. I don't use napkins. I take my brush and I take the edge of my cup and I use it as a squeegee. And I squeegee the extra water out. And that's how I get that extra water out. I don't need a napkin or a towel. So I'm going to load up orange. Now I'm going to get some water and I'm going to load up on my orange paint. And I'm going to paint his feet very carefully. I probably need a smaller brush than this, but sometimes you need more than one size brush. Okay, so I'm going to get his beak. And I think I'm going to paint some of his feathers orange. If you look at a turkey, they actually have brown and white feathers. But we have this thing where we like rainbowy colors and lots of colors. So, I mean, you paint your turkey feathers how you want, because you are the artist of your creation. So I'm just going to paint a couple feathers orange. I'm done with the orange, so I'm going to wash my brush. My water is still okay. If I'm showing you my water, if your water starts getting where you can't see, like you've been using a dark color, or you can't really see, it's not clear, like you can't see the bottom of the cup, that's when you need to probably go and change your water out. If you don't change your water out frequently, you end up getting, like, you can tell this was a this is one of my students' palettes. So you see where they're not washing the brush out good and they're getting green in that yellow. So now my yellow is yellow-green. And that's what happens is people not washing out their brushes, people not keeping their water clean. And if you don't keep the water clean, it'll muddle up your colors. It'll muddle up the color on your paper too. Because that is not as bright a yellow as I would like, because somebody had mixed green with this. Okay, I'm going to change my color now. I'm going to take all the extra water out so don't drip everywhere. And I'm going to go with red because I need to paint that little gobbler too. The little gobbler part on the turkey is red. I'm going to paint a couple feathers red. I really like the look of watercolor. You can go as dark or as light as you want with it. It's fun to play around with. And as I said, they have really good sets. You just have to find the set that works for you. I'm going to go blue now. Always liked the blue in this set. And it's okay if it bleeds out because it's watercolor. Like, you could tell where it's kind of blending right there. And that's fine. That's the cool thing about watercolor. It doesn't really have to be that. It could bleed, make new colors. It kind of makes it pretty and fun. That's the cool thing about watercolors. Some children's book illustrations are done in watercolor too. So that is a watercolor turkey compared with my marker turkey. I hope you had fun drawing with me today. Until next time, if you would like to share your picture with me, you can send it to gchristy, C-H-R-I-S-T-Y, at millwoodps.org. I would love to see your picture. Or if you are on Dojo, you can send it to me through Dojo as well. I am linked to most all the teachers, so you can send me a message through Dojo and send me a picture. I'd love to see your work. Thanks for painting with me today. Have a great day. Bye.